would just be more center camera here and then look in the jib for this line. And I was like, yeah. And then he walked away and I looked at Allison and I was like, what's the jib? It's the swingy camera. Like, she just immediately spoke my language. I just remember, okay, does anybody remember Eric's mini runs? I love mini runs.
You do?
Yeah.
I remember you pacing around the Rufus set, just mouthing to yourself.
My third season, you're like, a freaking mini run. You kidding me? I've been here 8 hours. I want to go.
I still use cold as funny. And it's
Cold is
true.
funny.
If it gets warm, it's not funny anymore.
Cold is funny.
Cold for comedy.
Cold is funny.
That's right.
Cold is just better for anything. Your
Emmy, your dressing room was 98 degrees every day.
I had an eating disorder and I was underweight and freezing.
So, I had your dressing room after you did, and I am a furnace of a human being. I'm always hot all the time, but for some reason, I kept that dressing room at like 98 degrees. I think your spirit lived on in the room.
I would have people over for meetings on my lunch breaks because that's how much I worked. And I would have people over and
every lunch break you had a meeting.
Yeah, and so I would, like, people would come in, I'd be like,
in a
blanket on the couch, and they're like, why is it 80 degrees in here? And I was like, because I'm freezing. And they're like, oh my God, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, every time I talk to somebody about unions and how crazy unions are, I tell them about how we couldn't get the heat on during our rehearsal days because there's like a union person who would have to come and turn the heater on. And so that's why they would push around. Remember, like they would have
the heater.
rolling heaters. And so they would follow us from set to set and we're all like freezing and huddled around. Like our blocking would just get closer and closer to stage so we could be near the heaters.
Here's a crazy thing. Speaking of unions, I'm not even SAG anymore.
Really?
Hey.
What?
I just was like, what's the point of paying like hundreds of dollars every year?
I guess that makes sense.
Then you get those 6 free movies. The hundreds of dollars pays for themselves.
You know, I haven't gotten
Remember movies?
in years because I think they go to my old manager's place.
Oh, they're cleaning up.
Yeah.
It's the scam. It's the long con.
And I want everybody to kind of answer this, but where do I think Tawny would be now?
Yeah.
And I get this question a lot, like, what do you think would have happened to your character? My hope was that she would have ended up with Grady's brother. Preston played your brother. Preston, I think Jones is that. He was so sweet.
Yeah.
And I think they were writing that in, like, very end of second season, he came in, and Tawny had a moment where she kind of, like, looked at him. And then the writers were like, oh, we're running with this. Like, that would be so – he was, like, the frat guy, you know? Or, like, whatever he said. And I think that would have been like a really cute storyline because they were both kind of like full of themselves and whatever. So where does everybody like think, you know, let's pretend we're doing a actual 10 years later, Sunny with a Chance or So Random, whatever, you know, like what is Rufus around still? What about your shins, Matthew Scott? Where would everybody be?
Yeah, I mean, G played the daughter of Mr. Condor for Condor Studios, and so she was Dakota. And I feel like that rivalry being continued, I feel like Zora would have tried to take over Condor Studios somehow.
100%.
Like the executive. I just remember that one scene of like me sitting down at Marshall's desk and like putting my feet up on the desk and being like, this is Zora's future.
Cute. I love it.
Nice.
Sterling, do you think
CDC.
Channy? What were you guys called? I don't even know.
Channy, I think, was the couple's name.
Obviously, Channy had to have happened. Come on.
Yeah, it's just right if they didn't end up together.
Yeah, I think you had to get back together and then break up again, and then.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. See, Chad is very Hollywood, and Sunny is very down to earth. She wants to go have a farm in Austin, Texas, but Chad is still an actor, and he wants to continue it. So he stayed in LA, and they had to compromise, so they moved to Calabasas.
Calabasas is good middle ground.
Where did they get the money for a Calabasas move?
Chad's still working. Yeah, Calabasas.
Tumblr is going to go wild with this storyline.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. I like Calabasas. I don't mind that. Yeah, I think that's probably what happens. I think that's fair.
I feel like that's what everybody does when they're trying to compromise between living in LA and living on a farm.
Doug.
What's Grady up to?
Yeah, where's Grady at?
Such an interesting question because at the time Grady was just like it was like a 1-for-1 of who I was. I felt so much. I think but now thinking back, probably they're on a sketch show, so probably
SNL.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like go on to do SNL, probably do some like well, it's
I know,
like
I'm forgetting that our characters were actors.
Either went on to have like a really solid career together, or there was like a really huge sundering fallout where it's like flash forward to 10 years and like we just like don't talk anymore. And it's like, oh, but why don't you? And it's like, I don't know, after that one day.
I don't know. Nico's always on a run. He can never get connected.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, I just felt like he wasn't paying attention to me anymore. So we
Aw, Nico and Grady.
Oh
What
my
about
God.
you,
Nico.
Brandon? Tell us what would happen with Nico.
Yeah, that makes sense. For sure.
Oh, you guys remember there was like one photo shoot that we did, and Brandon for whatever reason couldn't make it, and they photoshopped him into the picture. This is like
What?
Yes.
He was jogging.
it was,
Jogging.
we love Brandon. I hope that if it would have, like, you know, in a world of all the dreams where I was still SAG, if we did, you know, a continuation, you know, years whatever later, that they would bring in the random crew too.
But here's the problem that just happened with Lizzie McGuire, was she was saying
Heard about
it's
this.
not realistic to do a remake for someone in their 30s to not
No.
have adult issues. I love all of you guys so much, but I went through so much during that show that I would rather just start a whole new project with all of you.
Yeah, it's called Record a Zoom. Funny random people. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Going back to being overworked, Demi, especially because you and I were actual children, and I think that they forgot that you were a child, especially because you graduated early. You worked hard to graduate early, and then they could work you ridiculous hours. So, like, there's certain rules in place for sets. For anybody who doesn't know, is like, you know, you can only be there 9 hours as a child. So it's like you were still a minor, but being worked like an adult, plus under so many different bosses of, you know, going to the recording studio afterward, or like there's mandatory hiatus weeks where it's like, that's supposed to be our off time to relax. And it's like, okay, now Demi's going to Germany. And it's like, that's not hiatus. That's more work.
Yeah.
I had the best time with you guys.
Set proper boundaries.
When I think about the show, I miss you guys, and I miss like spending time with you and joking and going to Kitchen 24 on our lunch break.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
I miss the crew too, honestly.
And the crew was great, yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of great people, but that's what I miss. So if we were to ever do anything, I think we should just do a whole new thing.
Will and Grace reboot, you and me.
Good idea. Really quick, Dem, what advice would you give to someone who would be like in your shoes back then? If you could go back in time, would you have reached out to someone differently? Would you have like someone that ends up in that is a child actor that doesn't feel like they can say, you know, this is too
I don't really know. You know, I think if I had like an answer, then, you know, I don't know if there is an answer, but I would just say, like, always speak up for your needs. You know, always tell the people around you. If you're tired, tell them you're tired. If you're sick, be honest about, you know, being sick and not feeling good. Just speak up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I love you guys so much.
Nice to meet you.
So good to see you guys, and I'll see you later. Love you.
Bye, Dem.
Bye.
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 I think
Casey's gone.
And now Brandon shows up.
Yeah,
Register.
I think
No, now Demi takes off the mask and it's Brandon.
I know. It's one of those like sitcom scenarios where it's like you keep missing her when she runs to the bathroom. Like, oh, did I? You're the same.
Yeah, I realized that's the first conversation. I've never met Demi before. That was my first conversation ever. It's weird because this is weird to say, but like, she's obviously such a huge aspect of my life because being on Serendip was like the first big job I ever had.
Mm-hmm.
and I obviously knew why that job was available to me.
Mhm.
And like, obviously when it was airing, we just had fans constantly being like, where's Demi? You guys aren't Demi. And I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not. Like, I can't be.
The resemblance, Shane. I don't know. You got to be careful there. I see it.
I've never gotten so many questions about a person I've never met.
Yeah. It's just really trippy. I've only heard obviously great things from Matthew Scott over the past 10 years.
The funny thing about that too is now I work with Shane again, and we are on a sketch channel on YouTube. But right when I joined was when another major person left. Thank you very much. Was when another major person left. So I went from getting Where's Demi to getting Where's Anthony, and I was like, it's another person I've never met who's very talented from this sketch show. But like, I don't know, man. You know
what I will say though? You guys never made us feel like we weren't welcome. Like, I think that's part of the reason why it felt like it was just its own show for us, was because at no point were any of you were like, well, you guys are new, you don't get it. Like, you guys were so welcoming from the start.
Years before, we still felt new. I still felt new. I was like, man, I am still very dispensable. Like, I could be off of, like, Audrey walked in and I was like, I'm being replaced. I mean, that was
so crazy to me that you ever thought that. Like, I'm actually shaking just by the sight of you.
Wow.
I mean, that's a very actor thought, because I thought after doing one episode that when Damien came in that they were already replacing me.
Right.
I was like, well, I clearly sucked in that last episode and they found my replacement.
For me, it's like on Sunny, I was always kind of like the little sister, which was fun. But then as soon as So Random started, I remember just seeing Audrey and being like, friend. I think I grabbed your hand.
I think with me and Allison, it was pretty much love at first sight. We were like, yep. And now we spend all of our seconds and birthdays together.
And I was like, hi, nice to meet you. Just to let you know, we're one soul in two bodies. Cool.
Yeah, I felt everyone was really welcoming in a different way. Like, Tiff and I got close really quick and made me feel really safe. And then with Sterling, it'd be like, you want a beer? And I'm like, not this episode. And then with and then Doug and I got really close too. And then Allison and I are the same person in a way. So I was kind of like, oh, that's me. You know what I mean? You guys were also great.
Do you still have the jeans that she drew for you, the jean shorts? Oh,
I do. I have a bunch of Allison artwork up in my apartment. I'm in my parents' house right now in Palm Springs. Otherwise, I'd give you like a tour. But yes, I have the jeans. You guys remember that? There was like a pair of jeans that I brought to the schoolroom, and I was like, whoever wants to draw them, go for it. And then Allison did like a leg and a half of the jeans. It's like a bunch of robots. It says love is dead. It's so cool.
We were so angsty, Allison.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some dark artwork that came out of that room.
There really was.
The other day, and I was like, oh God. We were like,
I love all of you, but I do have to go to the grocery store because I have to stock up for the quarantine.
Mask up, my dude. Masks up.
Yeah, I got it in the car. I'm all set.
I too have to skedaddle in a bit.
All right, bye guys.
Bye. Oh, a kitty.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got some kitties.
Just a big old fat baby.
Oh.
I don't have time for any cats or dogs. I have so many children. Remember.
I feel
that's
you.
right.
I totally get it. Raising 2 cats, I know how you must feel being a mother.
all day.
Which I'm sure is your favorite thing to hear. I'm sure people are like, yeah, I got a couple dogs of my own at home, and you're like, damn, don't you ever?
Did anyone else hear from Brandon at all?
No, he probably got eaten by a hawk while he was on his run.
I only hear about Brandon occasionally.
Who was I talking to earlier
God.
this week, and I said, I guarantee you Brandon won't show up.
Well, before everybody gets going, is there anything anybody wants to plug? Anything that they've been up to?
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Wash them hands, you nasties.
Your fingies need washing.
So watch 420 the movie.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You'll love that.
I wish there was something to plug.
I got a couple things if that's cool. I'm a voice actor now, so play Fortnite Save the World mode. I'm on Smosh there with Shane at Sketch Comedy, and I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Damien Haas.
Wonderful. Yeah, and I can put everybody's social media handles. That way everybody knows where to find us. And yeah, keep up with us, and let's do this again. This was so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, we not the same. Nah.